What's up, guys? Welcome back to Sunday Sports Club podcast, a podcast all about sports, but sometimes it isn't. And at the end of the day, it's my podcast. Today, I am joined by a very special guest. We have on Shari Franke, and she's the author of the book, The House of My Mother, A Daughter's Quest for Freedom. And I'm really excited to talk to her because I just read this book. I think it was 2 months ago. And ever since then, I'm like, wow, like this is such an inspirational story and like of strength and of just like the woman that you like have chosen to be in like a challenging time. So first and foremost, welcome to Sunday Sports Club.
Thank
For the
you.
listener who might be new to your story, how do you like to introduce yourself now?
It's evolved over the years. Growing up, if you'd asked me like 5 years ago, even, I would have said that, hi, I'm Sherry. I am a child influencer and I'm part of my family's YouTube channel. I have my own YouTube channel. And if you were to ask me now, I never want to give people like the blunt answer of like, you've probably seen my mother on the news and she is in prison and I am her daughter. Um, that's not usually like the appropriate answer. So I say I grew up as a child influencer and I wrote a book about it. And here I am.
Does do you think that like sometimes you just would like to do the blunt like here like this is what I am that like take me as I am?
Yeah, I think that when people hear me talk about a lot of it, they're like, oh, like you seem very like matter of fact about it. And it's just like at this point, like this is my life. Um and it honestly would make it less awkward. Like people at the store will be like, oh my gosh, like I know you. And I don't say any, like I like wait to hear what they say. And again, like they don't want to be like, you're Ruby Frankie's daughter. But like we both know that that's what they're thinking. And
Do you ever get asked like, "Oh, you look really familiar," but I can't put my finger on it?
I do, yes. I think having stepped back a little bit from kind of like posting all the time, I would have usually said like, "Oh, you probably saw me on Eight Passengers," and now I just kind of lights one out.
Like, hello.
I mean, it's not, I can turn them on, but I don't know.
Honestly,
I-
you look great without it. So
Okay,
it's
we'll keep
whatever you're
going.
comfortable with.
Okay. Um, but now like if they say, "Oh, you look familiar," I'll just be like, "Oh, crazy," and like
You're like, "Nice
and it
nice
like
to meet
it's
you."
awkward for them and I like it's awkward
Yeah.
for me too. But
Mhm. Well, your book, The House of My Mother, is raw, it's brave, and also, like, incredibly vulnerable. What made you feel ready to write it?
therapy. Honestly, I think all like even before everything hit the fan and growing up, I was like, I want to write a book someday about my life. Um, and I think when everything like happened, with the arrest, with the media stuff, and stories were being posted by news, whatever, I was kind of like, oh, like I kind of want to be able to tell what actually happened because a lot of people don't know or they don't care to know. And so the book deal just kind of like landed in my lap. They approached, were like, hey, like, do you want to write a book? And I was like, okay. And um, at the same time, I was going to therapy and reliving a lot of it, talking about it in a way that gave me some perspective. And I wanted to record all of that.
Yeah, I think even, like, reading the book, I've found I was like it was really interesting, it almost felt like you were still discovering, like, things about your past, like, while
Yeah,
you were writing it, which I found, like, very interesting, and I'm sure a therapist was very key in being able to write that book because
yeah.
you're, like, reliving a lot of it, a lot of traumatic events that, like, you shouldn't have to live the first time, and then you were writing about it, so it felt, I'm sure, like you were reliving it a second time.
Yeah, something that was I had to work on as I was writing it is like the first draft, I found myself being like, oh, like this happened to me when I was 5. But and then like 22-year-old me would like throw in her perspective on things. And we tried to keep that separate. Like I really wanted to write it as if I was living it again and not put
Yep.
my adult perspective on it, and then kind of save that like um I don't know what like pondering on it or like perspectives on it more heavily until the end.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, what surprised you most about the process of writing it?
I think I was surprised at how not normal a lot of it was. My childhood. I even in like therapy when it's like, oh yeah, like my mom made us run around the block 4 times because, we didn't do laundry or whatever. And I'd say it just like so nonchalantly and they're like, oh, like I'm so sorry. I'm like, oh, like that is not normal.
Mhm.
So I think I was just surprised at that. And then also just like laying it all out in a timeline. Like I've gone through a lot of stuff. Putting it all out there makes it more real.
You're like, "Wait, how old am I?" And, like, all of this has happened in, like, my very short span of life?
Yes, I like to think that I'm getting like all my hardships in life over at the front end because if it continues to be at this rate, I won't be great.
Yeah, right. You're like, how much more should I be able to handle?"
Yeah.
When you first released it, like, what feelings or emotions did you feel or, like, hit you first?
Honestly, I remember flying to New York City to do some press coverage for it, and I literally like left right after my final that I had at school. And then I came back and it was came out released and then I went back to school. And so it was like more strange of just like I am still like going to school and living my life and my life really hasn't like changed, but now this book is out there. Um but it was exciting to see people get excited about it and the reception's been really great.
Yeah, I can't imagine the reception would have been bad. I mean, anybody that has anything negative to say about the book, you're like, "Hmm, interesting."
Hi
But
Ruby.
yeah, you're like, "Oh, okay." Um, but when people tell you that, like, they loved your book, is it almost like, do you understand, like, they're not saying they loved what happened to you, but you're like, "Oh, like, I'm sure they're, like, admirable about my bravery or my strength or, like, my vulnerability."
Yeah, we definitely as I was writing it and working on it, I didn't want it to just be like a rehashing of like literal events that happened because you could go to the news and read that. And for some
Right.
people, they find that interesting and fascinating. And I didn't want that to be the emotional reaction that people came away from the book with. And so, yeah, when people say, oh, I really liked your book, it helped me realize X, Y, and Z. Um,
Mhm.
yeah, the reception's been good in that way.
Well, yeah, that was my next question is what do you hope people take away from your book, especially those who haven't experienced something like this? Because I would bet to say like a lot of people reading the book have not experienced something like this.
I think that like all the parts together, yes, you probably have not, been raised by a narcissistic mother, joined a cult, like all like very unique. But I have found
Mhm.
that a lot of people, I get a lot of messages that are like, "Hey, I had never heard of the fawn trauma response, and now I realize that that's something I deal with, and so it's helped me in
Yep.
therapy." Or, "Oh, my mother, was also a narcissist, and this helped me feel seen." So like I think that because there's so much that I've
Yep.
gone through, I think everyone can relate, like in some small way, to just part of it. And I think that that's what's really resonated with people.
Mhm. And I mean, yeah, I think there are so many different parts of your story and your upbringing that like I found myself relating to like certain little parts, but definitely not the whole story in general.
Yeah.
um So, obviously, a huge topic is children when it comes to social media, and you have been an advocate. So, you've been an advocate against family vlogging and for online child protection. Can you talk more about the moment you realized that you wanted to take on this cause?
Yeah. I I don't think it was until I like moved out of the house for college that I like really fully appreciated like how upset I was about everything that had been posted about me. But even before that, things were like I would get sent TikToks of, 13-year-old me saying something on YouTube that I wish I hadn't have said and, being reminded of it. Um, like people, like there was this big thing that people thought my brother and I were like dating. And I remember like I was 17 years old. I had to go to the hospital for something and I posted a picture about it. And I got a lot of people that were like, "Oh, are you having your brother's abortion like from his baby?" And like as a 17, like I mean as any regular person, like that's awful. But as a kid too, I was like, that's just like it affected my relationship with him off the camera. So like things like that I think had just added up over the years. Um, and it got to the point where I was like, I can't take off everything that's post like even if 8 passengers were taken down, which it is now, all that footage is still out there somewhere. Um, and I think realizing that like 13-year-old Sherry is always on the internet and always will be, um, made me want to help other kids not have to go through that.
Totally. I think it's also just like you're going to make mistakes growing up, right? Like, you're going to say, like, things that you probably don't want on the internet, or you're going to, like, do something. I think of, like, my most embarrassing child moments, and, like, if somebody was recording that, I'm sure it would have gotten a lot of views, but it also probably would have brought a lot of embarrassment, and I'll still think about the embarrassing moments every now and then at the grocery store, and I'm like, "Ugh, like, I don't
Yeah,
wanna think about that," and
yeah,
I can only imagine the feeling of like, other people reliving that as well and being like, "Wow, that was really embarrassing."
yeah,
Um, Especially as a child, I feel like you're already growing up with so many peers and, like, everybody's going through changes, hormonal and friendships and social, and allowing people that insight and allowing them to have an opinion.
yeah, yeah. And it like it
Um
makes it hard now too, where it's like I feel like I've had to mature really fast, for, many reasons. But now it's
Mhm.
like I feel like I can't like I'm still 22. Like I'm really not that old and I still make mistakes, but I feel like I can't make those mistakes, especially publicly, because then it's like, oh, well, you are like your mother or you are, you know,
Oh my
a
gosh.
stupid kid. So like I
Mhm.
like it sets me up also for having to be extra cautious.
Absolutely. It's actually crazy that you're 22 is so young to me. Not in like young, I look at you as like a child, but it is crazy the amount of life you have lived and you're only 22. And it does feel like you are like wise beyond your years, probably because of the accumulation of everything you've gone through and like having to like stand up for yourself in so many different ways. What do you wish the general public understood about the long-term impact of turning kids into content?
I I mean, it really starts to affect um like our family relationships offline as well. Um like I said, like it affected my relationship with my brother for a while of like we can't stand next to each other in pictures and we can't give each other hugs. And um we joke about it now. But for a while it was, a genuine thought. And I think that a lot of people, especially viewers of family content, kind of have this like trophy family that they have. It's like, oh, well, like this happened to you, but like this person that I watch, they are not like that. Um,
Right.
and I guess I would like, how would they know? Like, you are never going to see the footage of the parents yelling at the kids because they're not smart. Like, why would they air that? You're never going to see it. And so like there's just no possible way to know that what happened to my family isn't also happening behind camera to someone else.
Mhm.
And so I think that is one thing that I think people have a misconception of is they look at my family and they're like, well, your mom was just crazy. Like everybody else, like family content, that wasn't the issue. It was your mother that was the issue. Um, and that definitely, compounded on the problems.
Mhm.
But family vlogging still was kind of the base.
For sure. It the when I think of, like, family vloggers or, like, people who share their children on social media, it's hard for me to rationalize and like in a way divide it from, oh, they're just sharing their like organic, like everyday life. And then knowing like, well, you're making money. And
Yeah.
like when your child does something, oh, that's going to get a lot of views, whether they do something adorable or they get hurt or something along those lines. And me and my husband, we have a daughter and we don't show her on social media we have very different reasons, but I'm like, we come to the same conclusion. But he even said, like, I would hate to ever have a moment with my child and think, wow, this is going to get a lot of views.
Yeah.
But
And
that's
that
the
that
reality.
was yeah, like that was the main thought for like birthdays and vacations and holidays. It's like those are the big money maker events.
And even people are, I think, even your mom started vlogging during a very interesting time period where vlogging was new. And so
Yeah.
getting insight into somebody's regular everyday life, and it felt like a reality show, but like way more uncut and like, here's everything. So even like the more like intricate family dynamics of like, here's how we're parenting, or here's, oh, wow, like somebody's about to, we're potty training or puberty. And it's so interesting because people are curious. And that's where like there's like a slippery slope. Surrounding the holidays, I can bet that you have at least one event, right? Like during the holidays, it's just friends and family are constantly gathering. You have the ugly Christmas sweater parties, you have Christmas Eve and then Christmas Day and then New Year's Eve and then New Year's Day. And I just feel like it's such a time for people to like reconnect. And during this time, sometimes I feel I get the winter uglies. I'm feeling pale. A sense of confidence I get from my hair is so big. I put a lot of confidence. Like if my hair looks good, I feel like I can wear less makeup. And with that comes my hair thickness. So I want to take a second to talk about Nutrafol because I have loved and used Nutrafol. I'm clearly pregnant right now, so I'm not using it currently, but you can bet I am already planning on purchasing the postpartum formula, which I did use after Scotty. And I noticed just such a difference when it came to my hair and how much was falling out. I saw a huge improvement. And I decided to take it well after postpartum because I wanted to start taking out my extensions. And now I can happily say I went from 2 rows to 1 row. And I was like, okay, after the holidays, I'm definitely getting this last row out. And my hair is going to be able to breathe. And I have Nutrafol to thank. If you guys are new, Nutrafol is the #1 dermatologist recommended hair growth supplement brand, trusted by over 1.5 million people. You can see thicker, stronger, faster growing hair with less shedding in just 3 to 6 months. This holiday season, Nutrafol is the perfect gift for anyone on your list. So thank your mom or aunt going through menopause, a friend who just had a baby and is experiencing postpartum hair shedding, your husband or father who relies on his baseball cap to cover up, or yourself or anyone looking to support their overall hair health. So you guys can give the gift of confidence this holiday season with Nutrafol, whether you're treating yourself or someone on your list. Visibly healthier, thicker hair is the gift that keeps on giving. And right now, Nutrafol is offering our listeners $10 off your first month subscription plus free shipping when you go to Nutrafol.com and use promo code Sunday. That's Nutrafol.com, promo code Sunday for $10 off. When I think about the holidays, I think about tiny moments with my pet. The ones that make the season bright. But that's why I'm joining Chewy Claus, who's out here making pet wishes come true. From November 4th to December 24th, you can share your pet's wish at chewy.com/chewyclaus. It could become real and it could help others too. Each wish triggers a donation of 5 meals to shelters and rescues across the country. Submit through the Chewy app and they'll double the donation, which a wish for a pet really is the wish that keeps on giving. Pet parents can send their pet's wish to chewy.com/chewyclaus and it might come true. You guys know I love and use Chewy. I mean, I would say every single day, but like my pet's food is on a subscription. And I love that Chewy is giving back, especially around the holidays. You can send your pet's wish through the Chewy app and they'll double their donation to shelters and rescues across the country. And shelters and rescues can join in on the joy by submitting their own wish list to Chewy Claus, and their community can find their wish list and donate items directly to them. Chewy Claus is spreading joy with your wish. Every pet deserves a wish come true. Send your pet's wish to chewy.com/chewyclaus and it might become a reality. Plus, your wish means Chewy will donate 5 meals to pets in need. You guys, I am type B, like really type B. I mean, if you listen to this podcast or you follow me on social, you know, I am extremely type B, but I'm also, when it comes to my love language, I love giving gifts. That's the way I show love. So being type B and being that love language, they kind of don't mesh, right? Because I'm a little bit of a last minute shopper, but I also love to give a gift that is meaningful and I know people are actually going to use. So, I want to take a second to talk about Aura frames because it is the solution with a gift that feels personal. So, think, who do you always struggle to shop for? I struggle to shop for my parents because they say, "Oh, like I just want to see you home for the holidays. That's it." I'm like, "Wait, I want to get you something still." I feel like an Aura frame for parents is such a perfect gift because like if they only just want you home for the holidays, an Aura frame can remind them of all the memories that you guys have spent together. So, with an Aura frame, you upload unlimited photos and videos. All you have to do is download the Aura app and connect to Wi Fi, and you can preload photos. So whenever your parent opens the gift, it's like, oh wow, like it's already a gift. It's already gifting. And you can keep adding from anywhere, anytime. You can personalize your gift and you can add a message before it arrives. And then you share photos and videos very effortlessly. So straight from your phone all year long. And they do include a gift box. So every frame comes packaged in a premium gift box with no price tag. For a limited time, save on the perfect gift by visiting auraframes.com to get $35 off Aura's best-selling Carver mat frames, named #1 by Wirecutter, by using promo code Sunday at checkout. That's AURA frames.com, promo code Sunday. This deal is exclusive to listeners and frames sell out fast, so order yours now to get it in time for the holidays. Support the show by mentioning us at checkout. Terms and conditions apply. You
Yeah.
recently spoke to the Utah House of Representatives. What was that experience like?
Um, I mean, I don't think it was like quite what I was expecting it to be. It was a long, like we were like the last bill, like they had their big docket. And so I'm sitting, it's like 3 hours that I am sitting there. They're already over time. Like all the senators and representatives
Yeah.
have like a meeting to go to. So like I, like go up to my table and I give my speech. I didn't feel like any of them were actually listening. Like a lot of them were just like on their phones. I was like, okay. Um, but I posted about it and the news posted about it, and so I think it had a good effect. I think maybe not on these random men up here, but you know, I I am proud of going and talking about it. Um, I was surprised at one attorney that showed up that had been hired by most of the biggest Utah family bloggers to advocate against the bill. Um,
Wow.
and he texted me the other day and was like, "Hey, like I'm, so happy that we were able to like negotiate something and get this passed. If you ever," I'm like, "I don't want to talk to you." So that was strange.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I'm sure
Yeah,
you're like, I can't really like you are like your job is like a very important part of you and like I don't think I want to talk to you.
yeah. I think I was surprised more at the backlash that I got after posting about it. Um, and that was
Which like
surprising to me.
in my head I'm like, isn't it very like black and white like let's protect children? Like it
Right.
I just
Yeah,
but
I like again, it's the people that say like, well, your mom was the problem, but I like to watch this family and they're not like that. And then the family vloggers will say, oh, like we pay our kids and we don't post things that they don't want. And then I'm like, so why would you hire someone to come lobby against a bill that requires you to pay them if you say you're already paying them?
right. Like you're like you should be fighting for your children along the same like guidelines that I'm fighting for children.
Yeah.
Do you do you ever sometimes hold people accountable for not seeing warning signs and, like, stepping in?
I I think in my case with like my mother now in prison, I don't hold anyone accountable for that except for
Her.
her and Jody and what they did. Like I don't blame the viewers honestly, if anything, they starting like change petitions and calling CPS over and over and over again to where they stopped coming or they just, rolled off any, like when I called, they're like, oh, well, we've already gone to your family's house because of, these people. Like it lessened what I was able to do. And so I think, and that's a very unique case. But I think where I would hold people accountable is for still supporting family content creators. Like that's
Mhm.
something that they can directly control, is their own consumption of it.
Right. And I mean, I would even say, like, yes, I'm sure there are family vloggers out there that have the best intentions, but between, like, your mother as, like, one end of the spectrum and, like, somebody doing it totally organically and posting it and not wanting to make money, there's definitely, like, in the middle, there's a lot of gray area, and I think that's where people should probably think a little bit more about, like, like, why is this person posting their daughter, like, fully naked? Like, I should probably think more about that.
Well, that
Um,
and like also, why do I want to watch this? Like, I
I
think that
like, why is it
most family content creators would probably say like, oh, we started because we want to share our family and, keep our memories. And it's like, in that case, you can share on a private account. Like,
totally.
that achieves your purpose. And so at some point, money does become a contributing factor. And if you deny it, then like you're lying to yourself. Um, but yeah, like I think the biggest thing is like, why does someone want to watch this family and watch these kids? And like I
Mhm,
watch reality TV, like I enjoy it, but I watch adults, in
mhm.
reality TV. Um, and I think that, I mean, that just causes whole other issues with like parasocial relationships and things like that.
Parasocial relationships are crazy. I mean, they are actually insane, and I do think, like, when it comes to social media, some people are like, "Oh, I'm posting online, like, I'm looking at a camera," like, they're not really comprehending, like, there are millions of people that are able to watch that, and if you show, like, every part of your life, the parasocial relationships, like, grow if you're sharing every day what you're doing, what you're up to, a trip you're going on, what am I packing for the trip, like, people are invested. I've also heard influencers state that a baby can't consent, but when their kids to be of age of consent, they would listen to them if they didn't wanna be in content. How do you feel about that?
I mean, age of consent isn't like an adult. Like I think that, if we're going from, having a romantic relationship with someone, if you're 16, you can consent to, 17. Like
Right.
if it's a 16-year-old and a 30-year-old, the 16-year-old can say, yes, I want this. That doesn't mean that they are actually like it's not legal for them to
Right.
consent to that. And so again, because a kid who says, yes, I'm okay with being online, why do they want that? Because they get money, they get fun trips, they get cool products. Like they're not seeing like the long-term impact of that. And it's on the
Mhm.
parent to be able to say, I know that this seems fun, but like you're not capable of thinking of how this could affect you when you're an adult.
Mhm. Absolutely. I think that's where, like, the long-term effect of social media kinda comes into play, like, even things I posted from, like, 5 years ago, I'm like, should I have posted that? Like, do I in the moment, I fully wanted that content out there, right? And, like, I consented to it, but now I'm like, like, should I have done that?" And so it's interesting, like, I feel like even consent can be, like, a very gray area where, like, what does that mean? I feel like consent can be very different in various situations, whether that be like, "Oh, I consent to being in this video," or "I consent to being shown in a diaper." I feel like there's, I don't know, various degrees. In your personal opinion, do you think that there is a healthy amount of sharing your child online?
I think that like I follow like on my personal account, private account, I follow family members just to like see how like I think that's a great thing about social media is you
Yeah.
can, follow with people but their accounts are all private. Um where they're not doing brand deals, not trying to grow bigger.
Mhm.
Um so again, I think it when it comes to Like when it crosses the line into I am deliberately going out of my way to make content and show my child in this content, there's no amount of that to me that is healthy.
Mhm. Do you think that there are any positives of a child being in a content family? I mean, positives not in like, oh, they're taking free trips and getting free clothes and doing cool experiences.
I mean that those were what came to mind. The like the money and yeah, like that was something that we were told a lot growing up was like, oh, like, okay, like we don't have to do YouTube anymore, but just know that if, you say no to this or if we stop, then we don't get to go on any more vacations. We'll have to pull you out of your school because we can't afford to send like, and so as a kid, you hear that and you're like, oh no, fine. Like being online is a small price to pay to keep my lifestyle. Um, but beyond that, like I can't see
Yeah.
any benefit.
It's interesting because I feel like a typical family would be like, "Oh, if you don't complete your chores, like we like mom then has to do that instead of working," or like it makes sense for a child to be like, "Oh, like if I don't do my chores, I won't be able to go on a family vacation." But it never makes sense like, "Oh, if I don't partake in like actually working and recording an ad and like saying parts of a script, then I can't go on a family vacation." It's like child labor. Like
Yeah.
there's like a like family and like learning life skills, like being responsible for chores and then being responsible for like the family's financial state. It's like very
Yeah.
two different things.
And that was something that I think one of the representatives, like, he was a really old dude, and I don't know if he really understood what family content was, but like one of his things was like, well, what about someone that's just like helping their family in their garage sale? Like they're just a kid and that's a family business. And, are you saying I'm like in no world are like it's not the same thing. Helping my family in a garage sale or in the
Are
family, business, whatever, is very different from family content business.
especially when the family business is like getting millions of views like
Yep.
weekly. You're like, this is a little different, I think.
Yep.
From your perspective, what are the biggest misconceptions about the children in influencer culture?
I I mean, one that they want to be doing it. Like um, I look back at me when my family started coming under fire for things that Ruby had posted, and I remember being like, no, like I want to be doing this. And I think Chad and I, my brother, um, after the very first big video came out that people were trying to get us canceled, I remember sitting and like filming an apology video, not like an explanation video with him, like the two of us. And I think we did it like 3 or 4 times because like we'd show it to Ruby before she posted it, and she was like, "You guys look like you're being held hostage. Like we can't post that." And like, we'd go back and like film it. It never got posted. But like I don't know in what world a kid would want to be online other than the lifestyle that it can provide.
Mhm.
So one, I like if you see a kid that's smiling and happy online, and people say, well, they seem to want to do it, and the mom says that they won't film if the kids don't want to. It's like you have no way of knowing if that is true.
Right.
Um, I think for me, like again, personally, having Ruby as my mother, um, always being called a mini Ruby or a Karen or whatever as like a 14-year-old, that was hard. Um, and so I like you would never say that to some kid that you met at the store. So like why do you feel okay saying it to a kid online? Um, I mean, and that's just the bigger social thing of like you never know what someone's going through and even like you only see a 10-20 minute video of their lives and yeah, you have no
Right.
idea what's going on behind camera.
It is that's the thing about when it comes to social media is like I can put out content today from a year ago and I can act like I'm in a totally different location because if I only share a let's say a 60-second long video, like you're only perceiving what I'm allowing to share or like what I'm allowing you to see. And so even like the bigger concepts of, oh, like I'm sure like oh, I know she's such a great person. It's like, well, the person is editing that content, meticulously going through it, like cutting out certain parts that they don't want you to see. So like even just to have like a bigger concept of like what somebody's like at home life might look like, it's like I don't think people actually understand that unless you're like live streaming every single day, but that sounds terrifying like in and
Yeah.
of itself.
Yes.
Holiday party season is here, which means we're all trying to put together outfits and outfits that make us feel like we're walking into a party with like the soundtrack playing behind us. I don't know. Whenever I have a good outfit on, I feel 10 times more confident. I find myself being more charismatic and going up to people that I might not know and striking up a conversation. My outfit honestly determines a lot about my day. And that's why I want to take a second to talk about Macy's. Instead of staring at my closet hoping for a miracle, I booked a free styling session with Macy's personal stylist. And I have to say, this is kind of the move. You tell them your vibe. Maybe you want to look a little glam, or your holiday energy is more cozy with a hint of sparkle. They can pull together pieces that feel like you, but like a little bit more elevated. Macy's stylists help you nail that balance between festive and effortless. So getting dressed actually feels fun again instead of stressful. Because I don't know, whenever I'm getting ready to go to like an event or a party and I don't like my outfit, it is so stressful and I'm already probably running late. So this kind of takes out all that guesswork. And the best part is that you can book a free session online or in store. So you tell them what events you have coming up and they'll do the rest. It's kind of like giving future you the gift of zero outfit panic. And you're going to look forward to your outfit, which is a game changer. So Macy's Friends and Family event is also going on right now through December 11th with 30% off Macy's best brands. So book your appointment now so you can get all of the just for you looks the stylist will curate for you at a great price. And you can be specific when requesting like what looks you want. I'm talking textured puffers, cozy textures, hints of sparkle, bold accents. I'm more of like a black on black kind of girl, but I don't know, maybe this will put me outside my comfort zone. So again, the Macy's Friends and Family event is going on right now through December 11th with 30% off Macy's best brands. So book your appointment now. At Starbucks, full and part-time baristas get comprehensive health benefits. So they have the support they need in every part of their lives, from early morning runs to school pickups to auditions. Because at Starbucks, comprehensive health coverage, including dental, vision, and mental health care, is just the start. Learn more at starbucks.com/partners. How much time do you spend on your mattress? Because honestly, after going through the first trimester of pregnancy, I'm like, wait, I spend a lot of time on my mattress, not only because I'm sleeping on it, but because these days I'm like eating in my bed, I'm watching TV in my bed, a nap every now and then. And it just got me thinking like, wait, what is in my mattress? But then I remembered I have an avocado green mattress. So I want to take a second to talk about Avocado Green Mattress because their mission is to be one of the world's most sustainable brand, which is the pinnacle of GOTS certified organic mattresses, luxury pillows and bedding, and quality American made bed frames and furniture. So they donate 1% of mattress revenue to environmental nonprofits through their membership with 1% for the planet. Their dream is a world united by sustainability and social responsibility. But not only are they socially responsible, avocado green mattresses are made using premium organic materials. So think GOLS certified organic latex and GOTS certified organic cotton and wool. So it's giving you that luxury, performance, durability. And this impressive lineup of certifications sets their mattress apart from the rest. And I love that my daughter also sleeps on an avocado green mattress because, when they're growing up, I always think like, what am I putting in my daughter's body? And also what is around her? And I feel so confident with an avocado mattress. Avocado mattresses are Green Guard Gold certified for low emissions and Made Safe certified non-toxic and support for growing bodies. So like babies and children need that proper support for their growing bodies. Infants, toddlers, kids, their mattresses are soft and comfy, but very supportive to adapt to sleeping positions and different body types and support overall physical development. Avocado is a certified B corporation, so it balances purpose and profit, And it is the Climate Label certified. And as members of 1% for the Planet, they donate 1% of all mattress revenues to environmental nonprofits. And with code Sunday, you'll save an extra $25 on Crib and Kid Mattresses on top of their holiday sale. That's an extra $25 off their current sale at avocadogreenmattress.com with the code Sunday, avocado, dream of better. You've been open about having your agency taken away from you for years. So what does your agency look like for you now in your everyday life?
I've taken a big step back from, content creation. And honestly now I kind of view it in a way of like it's um like I'll do brand things or something, but like it's never going to be me like sharing, here's what I did today and you're like I don't go into that anymore. Like I don't it's not fun for me to do. Like I don't understand people that find that fun to watch. So
Mhm.
I don't talk about my private relationships. I don't talk about my, work or like that's just my own private life. And so if I do something for social media, I can, you know, clock out essentially and come home and have a regular life.
Mhm. Is that refreshing after so many years of people knowing, like, everything about you?
It is for sure. And I'll still get, the occasional comment that's like, oh, Sherry is, cherry picking. She blames her mom for putting her on social media and she talks about how bad it is. And Sherry wrote a book and she does like you can't have it both ways.
I'm like,
And
"Really?" Because I think if you go through something traumatic, you should be able to, like, make the best of your situation.
yeah, and so it's like I I there have been things in my life that I wouldn't have if I hadn't done YouTube. Um,
Mhm.
and that doesn't make the bad things okay.
Yeah. How do you personally protect your privacy now, especially after growing up without privacy?
Yeah, like I said, I don't talk about my work or my relationships. I don't even share like where I live. I don't really share pictures of my apartment or like I just don't talk about any of it and I don't show any of it because you never know someone that sees something in the background and like come find out where you like I
Mhm.
remember when Ruby was arrested and I got like a letter on my door from like a Daily Mail reporter. And they're like, please call me. He's like, I don't like I still don't know how they found out where I lived. Like I haven't registered to vote. Like which kills
Yeah.
the political science person in me. Please go vote. Like
Uh-huh.
I don't want people knowing where I live. Um I won't post about a place that I am if I am still there. Um
Mhm.
so just like practical things like that.
It's actually terrifying that somebody can find out where a person lives, like, so easily.
Yeah.
Even I think there's, like, some guy on TikTok, and he does, like, geo picking or something, and he can, like, find it, like, from a photo, like, "Oh, they live in, like, Ethiopia," or, like, this
Weird.
small town in France." I'm like, "That is so, like, alarming to me." Like, even take out, like, the exploiting a child, like, safety,
Yeah.
there can be one person that finds something, like, admirable about a member of your family, and, like, people are creepy. People are
Yes.
weird.
Yeah.
Um, what are some ways that you nurture yourself now? So, like, habits or rituals, routines that, like, you didn't have access to before, or, like, now that you have, like, your own agency of, like, "I can do what I want," like, what are some things that, like, you love?
I I like to buy soda. And that's like a
Were
silly
you allowed to drink
and
soda?
like I like we were allowed to drink it, but like we were never the family that would like if we went out to a restaurant, we got water.
Yeah.
And so like something like that where I'm like I would have like we never would have been allowed to like spend money on stuff like this. And I'll go and buy a soda and now I'm too addicted and that's a problem I'm working on. Um but I feel like I can have hobbies outside of Like people would ask me growing up, like, what's your hobby? I'm like, I don't have one. School.
Mhm.
Like, like, but
Right.
school's my hobby. Um, but now it's like I've gotten into rock climbing, and I feel like I can go do something and unplug completely. Um, I feel I can watch my like teen dramas that I want to watch and not get worried that I'm not allowed to watch it. Um,
Mhm. Is it growing up in such a conservative household and, like, a mother that kind of decides, like, what you can and can't do and, like, when you where and I mean, to an extent, like, a parent, yes, will decide those things, but now is it, like, sometimes you're kind of, like, looking over your shoulder, like, "Ooh, should I be doing this?" Or, like, have you now been so far out that you're like, "No, I feel great about what I'm doing, and, like, I'm making the decisions that I wanna make?"
yeah, I think I've gotten to like a point where it's like rationally I know that I can do what I want to do,
Mhm.
and I um and I will do those things. But there are still like some decisions I make that I'm like, oh, like what will my siblings think if I do this? Or what will my boss think if I like and so like I think it's still at the back of my head there's like, oh, are people going to be mad at me if I make this decision or if I do this thing? And it's like I get like rationally I know that I can do what I want. I'm an adult. Like I'm not going to get in trouble any like adults don't get in trouble anymore.
Yeah.
That's great. Um,
Like, this is wonderful, I love this. What are conversations around, like, digital ethics and children's rights that you hope will gain more traction in the next few years?
I think, and it's an uncomfortable one that like a lot of people don't like to have, and I understand why. But again, just like why, as a viewer, do you watch this person? Um, we can pass all the laws that we want to help protect kids and hold parents accountable, but like if people stopped watching them, we wouldn't have to pass those laws because they would stop making that content because people aren't
Mhm,
watching. And so it's like it and again, like when I bring this up and people say, "Oh, but like I like this person and they're not like your family was." Like there's always going to be someone that says that, but it's so I think it's like why as a society do we watch children grow up? Like that's weird.
mhm.
Um
You're like,
it's just
"Let's"
weird.
mhm. You're like, "Let's think more about this." If somebody listening to this feels inspired to advocate but doesn't know where to start, what is one small action that they could take?
Um I mean, to stop watching your, family content creators. I think commenting on content of like I think this is something where you can call someone out and say I like why would you post this about your child? And family content creators are not going to like that, but like I think that really making it clear and upfront for other viewers that maybe haven't heard about my story or considered the bad impacts of it, other viewers will see that and then maybe will also start to, reconsider. So I think being upfront and calling people out and not consuming that content though, or following these people is a good first step.
Mhm. I love that. Honestly, I'm, like, so inspired by your story and just, like, in awe of, like, I don't know, just the bravery and, like, vulnerability. I find it very admirable. Like, what are you looking forward to, like, in the future? You can be very broad. You don't have to be like, "Oh,
No,
I'm going in
yes,
it."
yes. I and I've also had this thought too of like what I'm not looking forward to in the future of like I will always be in some form like a public figure because when Ruby goes up for parole over the next however many years and when anniversaries come around and people want to know like I'll always be present whether I want to or not. Um, but I look forward to being able to control a large part of that of like what I put out there. Um,
Mhm.
I look forward to living my life and not having people know about it. Like that's exciting for me.
Like, I love that. I'm like, finally, I'm so excited for you to be able to live the life that you want to live and share what parts you do and don't want to share. I love
Yep.
that. Well, thank you so much for coming on and for opening up and like answering some of my questions. Where can people find you or not find you on social media?
Yeah, I'm not active on YouTube anymore. My channel's gone. Eight Passengers is gone. But I am on Instagram at Shari L Frankie. Um, and then you can also check out my book. It's sold anywhere books are sold.
No, literally, read it on my Kindle in like a day. So, like, I highly recommend everybody reading her story. Well, thank you so much for coming on. And for the listeners, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I look forward to seeing you in my next episode next Sunday.